Due to the high level of injuries that happened last year from kids jumping off of pine trees, Parks and Recreation trimmed down the branches, but that hasn't stopped kids from jumping off from heights like this. By 2030, that number could double without substantial bridge replacements and could triple, potentially, by 2050. The price of gas is not only going to affect your wallet at the pump, it also affects airline ticket prices, your home heating oil, and shipping costs. Just about everything is dependent on the price of gas. On May 25th, Diane Morrison signed this campaign resignation statement to recall Mayor Whalen, citing his inefficiency and neglect to duty. But despite claims, Mayor Whalen says he's focused on making Ashland a better place. Every month, community members gather here to volunteer their time to pack boxes for troops, whether they give them socks, candy, anything that they think they'll need to make their deployment a little more comfortable. A routine shopping trip could have turned deadly. Hayward resident Sheila Terry was at Superior Walmart last night to pick up some groceries, including bananas. It was when she got home and unloaded her groceries that her day took a dramatic turn.
Then all I hear is, "Oh my God," and I get up off the sofa and run in the kitchen, and he's, look at a spider.
When her husband reached for a banana, he was completely unaware of a lurking stowaway.
And I went to get a banana off the bunch, and the spider was right here in amongst the stems of the banana.
A fuzzy black spider over 3 inches from leg to leg silently crawled out of the bunch.
It came out and landed on the counter and started to move. And I called to my wife and she came in and I grabbed it with a paper towel and killed it.
After Googling the spider, Sheila and her husband feared it was a poisonous Brazilian wandering spider. We showed pictures of the arachnid to Duluth spider expert Larry Weber, who identified it as a possible type of giant crab spider from the tropics. Walmart officials responded to the concern, saying we are investigating this thoroughly, working with investigators and looking at other products on our store shelves. At this point, we believe the complaint is isolated and there is no danger to our other customers. Sheila and Dan Terry say they want to make sure no one else finds a fuzzy surprise in their produce. In Hayward, I'm Danyel Piecek, the Northlands News Center. There is no waiting room, no nurses, and no reception desk. In fact, in Dr. Christopher Wenner's clinic, the first person a patient sees is the doctor himself, giving the patient plenty of time with their doctor.
When they know that they can spend a half an hour with me or an hour with me, a lot of times we were able to get at issues that maybe wouldn't have arisen in a 5 or 10-minute visit.
The practice is short on overhead, giving Dr. Wenner the opportunity to do all of the nursing duties, answer phone calls, schedule his own patients, and do the bills.
The patients feel comfortable. They know that if they call on the phone, they're going to get me. They know that they're not going to get my partner. They know that even if I'm out of town, they have my cell phone number and they'll talk to me.
Dr. Wenner is one of only 300 physicians in the country to follow the new ideal medical practice, seeing 10 patients a day and spending at least 30 minutes to an hour with each one of them. In an attempt to take down some of the barriers that are existing in traditional medicine, one of the main cornerstones of Dr. Wenner's practice is allowing for unfettered and expanded access, seeing his patients whenever and wherever they'd like to be seen. Gail McCarty looked for over a month and a half for a doctor to treat her mother's stage 6 dementia before finding Dr. Wenner's practice.
He is so polite and so good with her that I would pay anything to have him be with her.
McCarty said one of the best things about Dr. Wenner is the fact that he's always in contact.
I've emailed him 6 times. In the 6 times I've emailed him, he's emailed me back. And where do you find a doctor like that?
I'm privileged to be practicing here in Cold Spring. I'm privileged to be a small town doctor and to be able to be a small town doctor in a way that I feel is best for the community, I think is really win-win.
In Cold Spring, I'm Danyel Piecek, Northlands News Center.
We've kept him alive so that he can die at the...
7 books, 8 movies, and billions of dollars in revenue later, and now it all comes to an end.
Very sad. It's kind of like a mark to the end of childhood almost, just because it's something that's sustained from when I was like a little kid.
Midnight marks the end of an era for Harry Potter fans everywhere as the second installment of the last book in the series hits the big screen.
Kind of like the last time it'll be kind of something to wait for and to sit down and like see the movie and have the experience.
An experience that will be shared around the world.
Really nostalgic. Looking back on a lot of books and movies and years of my life, and it's just like basically you can't really imagine your life without something this big and this global.
Fans from all over the Northland have been lined up for hours, wand in hand, some camping out as early as 8 Thursday morning. Potter superfans came donned in costume, fully prepared for the last adventure.
Very excited. I have really high expectations because of how good 7 Part 1 was. It was, I thought, the best of the movie franchise, so I'm really looking forward to how they're going to conclude everything.
But as for all good things, even Harry Potter has to come to an end.
It's cool remembering like every experience of each book and each movie, and no one should take it for granted that this is the last one.
In Duluth, Danyel Piecek, the Northlands News Center. Members of the Army Reserve's 367th Engineer Battalion were welcomed home last night after a year-long deployment to Iraq. Over 300 troops left last January and trained in Fort Bliss, New Mexico before deploying to Iraq in March. A Cushing man died over the weekend when his vehicle broke through an ice in Lake Alexander. The lake is located in the northwest corner of Morrison County. Local sheriff's office were called to the scene just after 6 p.m. Saturday after a caller said that he saw tracks going into a hole in the ice and no tracks leading out. 54-year-old Gary Donald Depo was found under the water and was pronounced dead at the scene. Wayzata woman had to be rescued after her car went through the ice on Sunday. Kathleen Hansman lost control of her Chevy Lumina on a curve near the town of Richmond. When she overcorrected, her car went off the road and broke through some ice. A few Good Samaritans did see the crash and stopped to help Hansman, who was not injured. Applications are now being accepted for a St. Cloud grant that promotes development. A $500,000 budget is expected in 2011 for the Community Development Block Grant. The Community Development Block Grant funds are meant to build housing and expand economic opportunities for those with low incomes. Financial applications must be received and planned by January 14th.